Hello and welcome back, everyone. We are still live here at Awards in Amsterdam. I have a slight change of schedule here. We have Martin here today. Welcome,
Yeah,
Martin. How
yeah.
are you?
Thank you. Good, and you?
Good, very well. So let's talk little bit about your background. You are a designer based in Paris, is that right?
Now I'm based in Amsterdam since
Amsterdam.
a
Okay.
couple of months,
Okay.
and I'm a French guy from Lyon, not the south of France, but it's quite the south.
Yeah.
And I study in Lyon, and after I moved to Paris as an intern in a digital studio company called Anonymous. And 8 years after, I'm here in front of you.
Awesome. And what is your design background? You're an interactive designer?
Yeah, I'm interactive designer. I was the lead at Anonymous. Mostly I work for digital brands and e-commerce and websites. Some
Awesome.
apps and some products, a bit of identity. Try
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, guys, if you have any questions for Martin, then let us know and put your questions in the chat. We have it here. We also have XD waffles here for you to watch or for you to eat if you like some. I know we know you love the waffles. They're downstairs here at the Awards on the ground floor at the XD booth. So if you want some, go down and grab some. But let's get back to you. You have some stuff to show us.
Yeah, I can
So
show.
some things about your early career and
It's
now.
Yeah, it's no. Yeah, we will after. First, I can show you a video I made. It's all the project I did last year. So I think it's cool to have an idea of what exactly I'm done.
Definitely.
Do you feel it? I know you feel that, girl. Had to hold it down for the love. She the type of woman make you wanna leave the drugs. Not the type of nigga that'll really do the club. Plenty water, double cup, baby, let me know what's up. We could have a dream.
That's it. So yeah, mostly it's websites, some e-commerce. I work a lot for the fashion industry in France, and I work for Cézanne with ready-to-wear brands, especially for women. And I work a lot for luxury brands like Chanel and Louis Vuitton. So it's cool because I work for the fashion industry, but sometimes they call me to make different projects, not only e-commerce or like really corporate website. For Chanel, it was a video game in Japan. For Louis Vuitton, it was a watch interface. So it's
So
really
it's
cool.
all digital.
It's digital.
So
yeah.
it's nothing to do with the actual fashion itself.
Yeah.
But that's cool, right?
Yeah.
To interpret in a new way and
Yeah.
yeah, that's great. So that is one of your latest projects.
Yeah,
or-
this is all, yeah.
Awesome. And do you also have one project from your past,
Yeah, I can show you
from your early beginnings?
Yeah, the first one. This is the first one I've made in 2004 when I was
Okay.
a student in Lyon, and I think it was the first time I make a project with Adobe products, and the first time I would say, okay, now I want to be a designer. I know it's exactly what I want to do, so I try to code a little bit with Macromedia, Dreamweaver, and so yeah, it was in the
So
past.
it's HTML?
Yeah, it's HTML, and so it was. I'm a hip hop fan, so it's a hip hop fan website to show
Okay.
all the hip hop artists in my hometown. So it's fun.
But that's a great example. I mean, based on that and what you showed us just before, you can tell us a little bit what has changed the past years in digital design and web design.
Yeah, I think it's.
Do you still play around in Dreamweaver?
No, it's finished. No. Now I'm working with some really good developers.
Yeah.
And so I think to make that kind of project, we need good developers, and I'm not good enough. But no, it's. I think in our job, we have to prototype a lot and to try all the time. So that's why I learn a bit the code, just to start just playing with code and know if what I've done with the design is good or not. But now I try to make. I work a lot with After Effects, and I make a lot of video, but I don't code anymore.
Okay. Are you doing prototypes now? Is that part of your job compared to back
Yeah.
then?
Yeah.
So that's a big change, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
it's so much faster.
Yeah, and the web changed a lot. When I started with still Flash, Unfortunately, Flash is over.
Yeah. rest
So
in
it was
peace.
the project was really different, and I think if you look at the 10 years web design trends, 10 years ago it was Flash, and people create like amazing experience.
Yeah.
And after there's a minimalist trend, so no more animation, nothing, and now we are back like with a lot of animation with a lot of WebGL and stuff like this. So it's really cool. For me, it looks like Flash, but we have to wait. But I think we are going to make some really cool websites in a few years.
Was there one project from your summary of the latest project that was the one that changed the era, like one where you changed the way you work, like compared to like this HTML website, where you said,
For
okay,
me,
now
for me,
I'm
the last project I've done, it was on Flash. It was for Ed Banger, who is a music label in France. The guy who just launched Daft Punk and Justice, and we made two websites for the label. We worked a lot with sound designer, animator, Flash coder,
Cool.
and the website was full of animation. It was
Yeah.
10 years of memories, so a lot of objects, etc. It was really, really cool.
Amazing. We have two questions in the chat actually. Alan is asking, how do I become a creative director?
Good question. No, first I think.
You send your CV.
Yeah. First, I think we need in this job there is a lot of step, and I start like as an intern, and I think it's good to start on the bottom and to work a lot. I think the only rules in this job is work a lot to learn, try a lot of software, try a lot of different style, and to progress. And after you can move in different studio or start a freelancer. I think it's a bad idea to start directly after studying as a freelancer, because you need to learn. We learn a lot when we are in this industry. When you work for advertising agency, when you work for a studio, you learn a lot. So it's really good to go first in an agency, and after
In all different departments, learn everything, try out everything.
Yeah, because it's
gather
really
much experience as you can
it's so
possibly
different.
can.
When now I'm working a bit for the US, and it's so different than the French mentality. And when you work for a French agency, it's really different than when you work for just a studio.
What's the biggest difference between American company and French agency?
You make a lot of meeting.
Yeah.
You like to talk a lot.
In
No,
the
Fran-
American company?
Yeah,
Okay.
in France, generally the project is really short. We have only like 2 months to make everything. Americans take time, and you like to talk a lot. It's good. It's
Watch
good
a
for
movie.
yeah, it's good for creativity, but yeah, it's the biggest difference.
I see. We have another question from Angelique. What kind of skills do you need to become a creative director? Yeah, all of them, I think.
Yeah,
That's what you answered already,
Yeah,
right? Try every department, try to gather as many skills as possible,
Yeah.
so you're able to direct
exactly.
everyone.
Yeah,
That's
and
always
don't
good to
forget,
know.
like, what is important. I think it's a good project. It can be a website. It could be a video or just print stuff. It's when you work with a team, and only. I think we cannot do this job if you want to work alone. It's not possible, because you need to find some good developers. It's really important. Good
Yeah.
producer, good clients, good sound designer, good typographer, good copywriter. It's really important. So I think it's a mix of talents.
I see. And coming back to your fashion clients,
Yeah.
did you get straight into those clients, or did you start with a completely different industry?
At the beginning, when I was a designer at Anonymous, we worked mostly for the French agencies, and it was not only the fashion.
No.
No.
What else did you have on your table?
We worked a lot for some biggest industry and for the car also, some French brands, and we work for the music also. I work for Kylie Minogue, for example. We make a cool website for Kylie Minogue. Passing the
Cool.
Yeah, it was funny. And I met Kylie Minogue, so
You met her?
yeah.
Yeah, tell us more. That's what we want to
it's
hear.
my secret.
Oh,
It was like 10 seconds, and
10 seconds.
she's professional. She come in front of the camera, and she do his job,
She
her job,
poses.
and after she leave.
Okay, I see. So she didn't tell you I want this and that on my website.
Nothing.
She has managers for
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
Lucky girl.
Yeah. But I was in the same room with Kylie Minogue, so
At least you breathe in the same air.
exactly.
Okay, that's great. And how would you say how far? Thanks, Rufus. Of course we can. Thank you, Rufus.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. Yeah, we're live, and Rufus has just some special requests to hang out a bit longer here. But
Okay.
yeah, we're happy to do
If you
that.
have more
so
questions,
yeah, if you have any more questions, do we have more questions here? I was about to ask one, but let's check the chat. Mark is asking, what do you enjoy most about your job?
it's challenge.
Challenge.
Yeah, that's why I work a lot for the fashion industry, and now I'm trying to make different projects. But I really like when you work for a brand, it's and you know nothing about that kind of product, you know nothing about the brand, and you really try to understand the clients and to make a really good product at the end. So
That would have been my follow-up question. What would you say is the biggest difference between the fashion clients that you had and, for example, Kylie Minogue or the cars? It's a completely different thing, but all of them are kind of a product.
yeah, honestly, it's yeah, no, it's quite this. It's different because we don't use the same style for the design. But a client is a client, so you need to understand and to understand exactly, because sometimes it's a bit hard because as a designer or with my developer teams, sometimes we for us is sorry no, so sometimes we use a lot of technical words, stuff like this, and for us it's like normal to use this one, or some effect is normal and the client don't know nothing about this. So yeah, you have to understand exactly what we are going to do for the project.
I see. Do you have a specific fashion project that you could
Yeah, we can-
explain us a little bit more? That would
Yeah.
be interesting to see.
Because now we have time. That's
Yeah,
it.
now we
Can I
have
just have
all the time in the
you have a
world.
glass of water, please?
Of course, we have glass of water.
Thank you.
We have a glass of water, still or sparkling?
Still, please.
And we have waffles. So
Yeah.
here, your breakfast.
Okay, breakfast.
Bon appétit.
Merci.
Yeah, we're having breakfast here now because we have time. Until 11:30 we will be live with Martin.
With a little break at 10:55.
Okay,
Break from 10:55 to 11, and then you start again.
okay. With a little break at 10:55 and then we start again. Oton Rufus. All right.
So yeah, this project is for Drôle de Monsieur. It's a French brand based in France,
Cool.
and they
I can see the ocean.
yeah.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. No, it was really funny to work for this guy. So they called me at the beginning. We have like a really basic website, and we are only focused on fashion products and not really on digital. And so it was really funny to do this website because they wanted e-commerce, but they wanted a commerce like different, and with some we are okay to put some animation on the website. So we did
So the animation is in the top already. So when you
Yeah, the
hover the
idea is-
mouse, you
because when you arrive on this website, they wanted to show the collection, and they wanted to put the mood board of the
Okay.
collection to understand exactly what you are going to see. So we find this effect when we put like a lot of images you can find on the mood board of the creative director when he just designed the product. So I made this project with Kevin Chassagne, who's a French developer. He's a really
so
good
how
developer.
did you code that? What language is that in?
It's HTML.
This
Yeah,
one. With
yeah.
all the flipping images.
And you can, if you have time, you can go live to see the project. But it was really cool to do this project, and you can see the.
Did you also do the whole back of the whole logic of the website, like organizing it
Yeah,
with the hierarchy and
Yeah.
stuff? So you started with that UX part
Yeah.
side of
Yeah.
things, yeah.
yeah.
Did you do wireframes before you got
No,
into
no.
visual? You
No.
jumped straight into visual
Yeah,
design.
yeah.
What's your usual process? What do you start with when you meet your client? Do they come to you, or do you reach out to them and say,
No,
"Hey,
yeah.
I saw your website's not
Yeah,
that great. I can do better."
No. They usually they send me a message and say, okay, I see your project for that kind of blah 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 blah, and I want to work with you. And first we make a first interview just to understand exactly what they have in mind and what they want to do with the brand. And after we work as a mood board to get some inspiration. Say, okay, I think this is really cool for your brand. We can do that. It can be a website, but it can be also like. If the lookbook is for me, it's really it's terrible. I can show some inspiration and say, okay, for the picture, perhaps we can do something like this. It's better, blah blah blah. And we spend a lot of time. And after directly, I go on Photoshop and I start designing. And because yesterday,
So you do your designs in Photoshop
yeah.
entirely.
And yesterday, Andy from Active Theory, I have to tell about the process of the Active Theory studio, and it was exactly the same. No wireframing. Directly, they start working on C4D and on Photoshop, and after they're thinking about the user experience. And I think we can do both because I'm not working for really big website with tons of pages. It's small website usually. E-commerce is like quite a small website, so I think we don't need wireframing all the time.
Okay. And do you also, like you said, Photoshop, is that your preferred program of choice that you use all the time for
Yeah.
everything, or are there others
Yeah,
just
I know.
on the side? We have a new thing called XD.
Sorry, no.
Have you tried it?
Yeah, one time. No, I prefer
Well-
Photoshop.
And why is that?
I prefer Photoshop.
Yeah,
no,
but why-
no, because
but
I'm more
what
free in
tools are
Photoshop.
you missing in XD when you opened it that brought you back to Photoshop?
It's not just tools. It's I feel comfortable on Photoshop. I start working on Photoshop since the beginning. So I try Sketch, for example, and I feel uncomfortable. It's really
Okay.
hard for me. I don't want to think about the tools I use. I prefer keep focus on the design. So I don't really care about
I
if I'm.
understand.
So for me,
Sure.
Photoshop is okay. But I know all the developers ask me like, can you stop Photoshop? Can you use the new one? It's better for us to share the project. Blah 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 blah. And
No, I definitely agree you should use what you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
But the question is, once you have done your design in Photoshop,
yeah.
do you require interactive prototypes? Would it make sense? Because you can open Photoshop files in XD and you
Yeah.
can just
Yeah, I know.
connect them,
Yeah, but
connect the
I
outputs
prefer-
with each other. And
Yeah, but usually I go on After Effects and I make some.
you do your prototyping on After
Yeah,
Effects. That's
yeah.
interesting to know.
We don't do all the website because it takes so long. We make all the animation transition, some call to action and
Interesting.
stuff like this.
Interesting to
Yeah,
hear.
maybe because I think.
Everybody works different, so it's always
Yeah, that's why I put a lot of on Dribble, so you can watch my Dribble and find all my project because
good to know.
it's really important for the client to understand. When you say, okay, we are going, for example, for Drôle de Monsieur, the guys are working on the fashion industry, they know nothing about digital. When I say, okay, we are going something on the homepage with your cursor mouse, when you move the cursor, you have all the image of the collection. The guys say, okay, I don't understand nothing. Okay, I'm going to show you a
Okay.
video. It's better.
We have another question here in the chat. What hourly rate would you recommend beginners to calculate to their clients or work on a project basis price? From Marcel. Well,
Okay.
Marcel, it depends where in the world you're based. I would say.
I know. For the hourly rate,
I mean, there are websites where you can look up the average
Yeah,
rate, right?
yeah.
For
It
because
depend-
it
it
always
depe-
depends on in which
Where are you
country
ba-
you
yeah,
are, where you're
exactly.
based, which city you are.
yeah.
Probably
Exactly.
if you're somewhere in a village in the mountains of
Yeah, and also
Austria.
sorry, and yeah, I'm out of there. No, also if we are based in Paris or New York, it's not the same rate because the life is not the same cost. So I think there's no good answer. For
So maybe not the best question to ask to Martin.
Sorry.
Do we have anything more? No, not so far. He says in Holland. So here, basically.
Yeah, I'm based in Amsterdam since 7 months now.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but he's asking for the hourly rate in the Netherlands.
It's
Yeah. Best is to check that out
Yeah,
on
yeah,
websites.
I
You
think
can. I think even LinkedIn has
yeah.
has
So
this diagram
I know
by
there
now
is
where
some
you can
French
check
website
out
for this,
things,
I
but
think.
yeah, definitely. We have another question from Carlos. Which pages you think are better to conversion, clean websites, like not so much combined with design or other full of colors and text?
I think it depends on the client. For example, for Drôle de Monsieur, I think the clients are quite young. And they are used to social media, they are used to video, used to animation, and they really appreciate the website because they feel like really comfortable. Say, okay, there's a lot of animation, and I like the brand. It's because sometimes we do so much minimalistic website, and at the end, all the websites are quite the same, and it's really hard for a brand to just show, okay, we are a young brand, but we have a lot of inspiration, a lot of creativity. So
But
That's-
usually you have more freedom with the younger clients than
yeah, sure,
the
Sure.
big
Yeah,
enterprises
sure.
and older generation,
Yeah.
definitely.
yeah.
Shall we get back to your project? That was
Yeah, we can just.
quite nice to see.
Uh,
So how many, I would like to know from that website that you just showed us,
Yeah.
from the other tab, I would like to know how many iterations, so if you said you don't do wireframing beforehand, so how many iterations did you do in terms of design, or how many drafts of different designs did you have at the beginning?
usually,
how did you narrow it
when
down?
I was at school as a student,
Yeah.
I learned like, okay, you are going to make free ID, share to the client. This is not my reality. This is not, I think, the reality. That's why I make a mood board just to share my ID and what I think is good for the brand. And after we make only one ID, and after we just arrange the design to be sure everything is perfect. But if you see the first mock-up, it's not far away from this. We
Yeah.
change a bit the navigation. We add some new function, some new pages, stuff like this. But it's quite.
So that's how much you're already into the industry, that you
yeah.
just do one draft and that's
I
almost
think it's
it.
better. I think it's better.
All right. And the images and all this stuff was provided by the
The
client.
clients,
So
yeah.
did you get that before you started design or after?
It depends. Sometimes it's after. Yeah.
Isn't it difficult when you get it after and
Yeah.
you have your design already and then you get funny images and they don't
Yeah,
match your design?
yeah, it's happened.
It's-
and for
So how do you
e-commerce,
handle this?
for e-commerce, it's okay. But when I was working at Anonymous, we made like a lot of experience with video, and sometimes we make the full website and we don't have nothing, and we don't know how looks the movie, and we get the
Okay.
movie like 2 days before the release of the website. So it's super strange. And the beginning, it was terrible. You make a mock-up and everything, like the background is black, and you say, okay, I have to think that there's going to be a video there, but I don't know exactly what is the video. So a bit strange. But sometimes,
redo everything.
sometimes you have some good surprise, and sometimes it's terrible, and it's happened. And when it's terrible, you ask your client, okay, can we make an effort? And perhaps we can make a new photo shoot.
Or maybe a learning for the future to
Yeah.
ask for the images up front
Yeah,
before
but
you
usually
even start to design.
they try to make the same picture as the one you use on the mock-up.
Makes sense. Any more questions from the chat? Yeah, we have Margie asking, where do you get most of your inspiration from?
On Behance, for example.
Behance.
Yeah, Behance, Twitter, and Dribble. But a lot of Behance, I think Behance do a great job.
You also have a profile there?
Yeah,
Do you want to show it to us?
yeah.
So we can let the community know whom to follow.
This is my portfolio on Behance. You can find my latest project. I don't put everything, but I put a lot
Great.
of projects. So you
So
can.
these are also your fashion projects?
Yeah, this is for a friend who is a painter. I really like this job.
Okay.
And this is for Typology. It's a skincare brand based in Paris, and I just made e-commerce.
That looks cool. Can we see it
Yeah.
in detail? So you did an app and a website, or is it a responsive?
It's a
website?
responsive website.
How do you deal with responsiveness in Photoshop? Sorry. I mean, don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
also worked in Photoshop before, so I know how it is. But you have your 3 files, right? With
Yeah.
all the different sizes.
Yeah.
So you have one example for mobile, you have one size for a
Tablet.
standard
Yeah.
tablet, and you have one
Yeah,
size for
exactly.
for your desktop.
Yeah.
And then you do 3 different design,
Yeah.
and then you copy and paste the layers over,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And it's quite
I
a
know
lot
it's
of work.
also, but I feel comfortable.
Just mentioning on the side,
Uh,
there's
yeah.
a responsive resize.
Yeah, I know. No.
It helps a lot. I mean, sometimes it really helps Do you start with the mobile design or with the web layout?
The web layout.
Web
Yeah.
layout.
I'm the
It-
opposite. Yesterday,
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I
No.
start with mobile.
yeah, I know. A girl from Google was on stage yesterday and talked about mobile, and how it's really important to start with the mobile design. I think the opposite, actually. I prefer.
Why is that?
For me, the mobile is a simple version of the desktop version. So in my head, I prefer first create the desktop experience, which sometimes with animation and blah, blah, and it's easier for me after to remove animation and to make something more simple for mobile, because I think when you are on mobile, you are not really looking for an experience. You want to get the information. You want to buy something. You want to buy a train ticket. You want to move to A to B. You don't want to lose time, I think. So, and I don't remember the name of the.
It's okay.
But she said something. But now on mobile we wait only 3 seconds. After 3 seconds we leave the page. So I think it's really important to make simple website and super fast website.
Yeah, I started with mobile because I found it easier to start with something more difficult, because a smaller screen is more difficult for, in my opinion, to put all my information
Yeah.
on it. So I started with the more difficult thing, and then I expanded to the easier part. So that's my process.
Yeah,
but
so
you
we
know,
are the opposite.
everybody can work however they want to work and whatever they feel comfortable with. So it's always interesting to hear other perspectives and how
It's
it works for you.
old school workflow.
Definitely.
I need to
But
update
yeah.
my skills.
So you started with the website here first.
Yeah, but they wanted something really simple because the product is only the minimum. They add nothing on the product, so they wanted something really simple. And but it was quite a funny project.
And that's cosmetics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's found by the founder of Make.com.
Okay.
So
And how do you? I think it's pretty difficult to, when you have this whole product range that you have no clue about probably, and then you need to get into it and put it on a website. How do you categorize it? Do you speak with them? Do you ask them? Okay, what was it? Oil or something? What oil
Yeah,
belongs
but
together?
yeah, we
Or
are-
stuff like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
So now
is that
I know a lot about fashion
Yeah,
wear,
tell us.
skincare. Yeah.
I'm sure
And
people are
no,
interested. Are you interested? Let
yeah.
us know if you're interested in fashion.
No, mate, to be honest, like actually we are working with a friend, Valentin, on branding for a menstruation brand. So at the beginning I know nothing about this, but it's an obligation to understand the product, understand the client who buy this product, and after you can design the website. It's really important, this is my point of view, to understand first the product and after to try the design. But it's funny, I make website for car, I don't have my license. I make website for fashion, like women ready to wear. I'm not a woman. I work for menstruation product. I'm not a woman, so
I see. And has it also happened before that you thought you know an area very well, like oils or something like that, and you put stuff together, and then you actually figured out when you had your client meeting that you had no clue about it? Did this also happen before? Tell us.
No,
That's what we want to hear.
No,
These are
no,
the
no.
interesting stories in
No, no.
life.
no, I mean, sometimes it's
How do you handle them?
sometimes it's quite funny with
Yeah?
clients. Yeah.
Tell us.
No.
You don't have to mention
because
names.
no,
It's all
it's
anonymous
my
here.
secret. I make my own like.
Do we have any more questions in the chat? Yeah, we have. Have you ever designed something more complex than a website? Where's the question gone?
Yeah.
Something was jumping. Okay, we lost the question.
Someone like the Florian Moufrini website. I'm really. Perhaps you can show this one.
Okay,
because it's the
if you want to ask the question again, that
Yeah,
would be
sorry,
great.
we
We just lost the question. Is there another one? Munir is asking any tips on how you present your projects on Behance or clients? Good question.
Yeah, good questions. For the client, as I told you, I work a lot with GIF. That's why if you like, it's when I send the mockup, I send the mockup, and I also always send small interaction, like small GIF. Just there. So I send a lot. I put GIF on my deck. I think it's really important to do that, and everybody must work a bit on After Effects when they want to make interactive design.
Or auto animate in XD.
Yeah, also. It's the same. It's from Adobe, so it's okay.
And you can open your XD file in After Effects if you want to do even more.
I have to.
It has great features.
Okay.
Maybe take a look. I don't know when was the first time you opened it.
A client sent me a XD file.
Yeah,
So-
long time ago?
No, like 2 months ago.
Okay.
It was terrible because the design was terrible. Yeah.
That's
So I
not
take
done yet.
everything I put to Photoshop and I start redesigning everything. But
I see. Yeah, I mean, definitely. You know, I agree. You should definitely use the tool you feel most comfortable in and where you're fastest and to
Yeah.
not lose time. But sometimes it's good to work across
yeah,
programs.
I think if when I start designing XD was here, I will definitely I will for
Sure.
sure charge by XD. But at the beginning, with only Photoshop. So
Maybe just to try out animations.
yeah,
You know, just open your Photoshop file and just try to connect the boards
Yeah.
like you would do in After
Yeah.
Effects. That would be a start, and
Yeah,
maybe
sure.
that's already faster. We have some more questions in the chat here. Which design books should I read?
there is a really good. It's a grid system.
Mm-hmm.
This you must all designer must.
Do we have that on here? So we got the right one.
It's this one. It's
Okay,
really
so-
important because
Demas, that's the book for you. Grid Systems.
yeah, it's a really good from Joseph Müller Bookman. Really
What
good
is it about?
It's about how to organize information and how to organize typography on the grid. And I think it's really important to keep in mind that we must work on the grid. And after you can take some freedom, but it's important to learn to work because it's really important for the developers to have a really clean project with some rules. And you can have a lot of freedoms and make some really cool animation. But first, there's rules, and it's really important.
Um,
And
you have another
perhaps because we have time. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, we have time. We
I
have
came
breakfast.
for 20
Do you
minutes.
want
Finally,
more,
I'm going
do you
to
want
stay.
more water?
Yeah. No, perhaps I can show this
problem.
project I made with Aristide Benoit, who is an amazing developer. He's actually based in Spain. And we make this project during a weekend for a friend who is a painter. And it's really simple. It's just because my friend make exhibition in New York, and now we have a new exhibition in Mexico. He just wanted a small page to show his work. But we make something funny and quite old school. We make a Konami code.
I like the typography. It's really nice.
And if you make up, down, down, left, right, B, A, it doesn't work because I know.
Because we're live.
Yeah, because I'm stressed. But you can click on the footer and you have the experience, and it's full WebGL website. And I think
Ooh.
Aristide do a really
So
great
if you
job.
can't sleep, then just
Yeah, and you can play with this,
Watch.
and the pages is
watch
moving.
Martin's website and you will
Yeah.
sleep like a baby.
Yeah. No, so I think.
That's wicked. So did you draw this?
Sorry.
Did you draw the initial one, or is it just a random code?
No, it's Aristide did
Ah, yeah,
everything.
you did.
Yeah.
Wow,
You must go to his website. Aristide
Awesome.
Benoit.
looks great.
Yeah, that can. So did
Yeah,
I don't
Going
know.
back to Behance,
Yeah.
show us some more fashion clients.
Oh,
I think that's what
I'm
we're all
tired of- no.
interested. Oh, we
Mhm.
have one more question in the
Ah.
chat. Irfan is asking, I noticed only, where's Irfan gone?
oh, it's
So many questions in
Yeah.
the chat. We're always losing questions. Okay, gone. We just started to read it, so if you can ask it again, we
Oh.
can read it out.
friend from
Yeah.
Bill in
I
Amsterdam.
noticed only on websites you design. Have you ever designed apps?
Yeah, but
Yeah, we saw.
yeah,
just
it
saw
was
that.
more responsive website. But,
A responsive
Yeah, I made an app back in the day, but actually I don't know. It's in this industry when you make a lot of fashion, people from the fashion industry call you. Now I'm making a lot of website and like lookbook, e-commerce. So only people who want the e-commerce or lookbook or interactive stuff call me. But if you're working for a company, especially based in US, and you have a new product and you want me to work on the app, I can be your guy.
You heard that?
Yeah, no, because I think it's what I like in this job is to change all the time and try
Yeah.
new things. Now I'm trying to learn 3D to change a bit my way of thinking and think in 3D and not only in 2D when I'm designing something. So it can
3D
be
in the sense of designing a 3D website
work
or
on-
virtual reality?
WebGL and work on
Yeah.
C4D and try to make some new navigation, new things.
Cool, great. And do you also do user testing?
No,
Never.
no, my wife only.
So hand it over to her and she does the user
Ye-
testing, or she tests it.
No, she tests. Yeah, she tests
she
everything. No, and the clients, I don't do a user testing.
So they don't invest in that.
No.
Have you never done it before?
Yes, passing the time for a big project, but I think I don't
Do
know.
you see a benefit in it? Or
Yeah,
is it just a budget type of thing?
yeah,
that-
yeah,
yeah.
I think so. Sometimes I don't know for products it's different when you make an app or stuff like this. It's okay, but we just made like moving images on website to sell more products. So we make something like really basic. I don't know. We need really user testing.
So you go straight into development basically, and
Mm.
so do you work close with developers?
Yeah,
Very
sure.
close.
Yeah, we are.
So what do they say about these designs? Do they use Photoshop as well,
Yeah.
or do you have to create
No.
design guidelines for them?
No, they
No?
use Photoshop. So I work with Léo Chéron. He was the lead designer at Anonymous.
Mhm.
And I also work with Kevin Chassagne and Harold Durka. And we are really close. We are based in Paris and I'm in Amsterdam. We make Skype every day. And no, for me it's really important to work with developers and not be alone in my office because we exchange a lot. We have some questions. Sometimes there are a lot of good ideas. So we try to, it's a ping pong, creative ping pong
Yeah.
between technical part and artistic part. So it's really, really good. It's really
Great.
good it's
yeah.
for me. It's really important to work really close with developers.
Yeah, it's so important for the workflow. I agree. We have a question from Margie here. Do you find that minimalism are becoming a trend in design?
Yeah.
Up
Sorry.
here.
Yeah, it was a trend during a long time. I think
Yeah.
now we are more.
In every kind of design, not only
Yeah.
in
Yeah,
digital
yeah,
design,
yeah,
right?
sure,
I
yeah.
mean, where was the dress in the 19th century coming back to fashion,
Yeah, yeah.
and where is it now? I
No.
mean,
now I think we are more 3D and texture and stuff like this for the digital trends, and I think it's good to change. But it's a circle. At the end, we go
yeah,
back
it's
to
a
minimalism.
never-ending circle. I agree.
Yeah, what I like actually is like with Flash back in the time, it was really based on experience, 3D stuff like interactivity, not so much based on typography.
Mhm.
But now the new website we are just launching by a really cool studio as Active Theory or stuff like this. You can make a perfect mix between layout and typography and experience and interactivity. So it's really cool, really interesting.
So I also have a note that you are nominated for Best Individual for
Yeah.
the awards here.
Yeah.
Congratulations
Thank
for
you.
that.
Yeah.
So what did you have to hand in to get recognized and to get nominated? What did you? Can you show us what you handed in?
Yeah, but I think it's. I have no more computer. Yeah. I don't know if I have. It's the work I have done last year.
Mm-hmm.
Portfolio. We make a funny project for Red Bull also for Ali Ramdani. It's Bad B-Boy Lilou. If you know a bit about breakdance. So it's like
well,
it's
I
Cristiano
was a
Ronaldo
dancer,
from
but
the
contemporary dance,
okay,
not
no.
breakdance.
So yeah, this guy is really famous. He's from France, and we make
Okay.
a website. It was the anniversary of his career, 10 years in the breakdance. So we make like a full history website with video, old school pictures, also hip hop playlists and stuff like this. And it was quite funny to make this for Red Bull. And so we win an award.
Did you take the pictures or someone
No,
sent it?
no, yeah, it's only old picture.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, we
Wow.
take all picture of him. We have picture from his when he was young, baby, stuff like this. So it was
Really?
funny, yeah. And I also
So
make
that's
some.
what you handed in.
Yeah, and this year it was the project I win award. That's why I think I'm on the independent nomination. But yeah,
Well,
it's
congratulations.
yeah, it's cool.
It's amazing,
Yeah, it's
isn't
cool.
it? Is
Yeah.
it your first time, or have you won awards
Yeah,
before?
It was last year I was nominated, but nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
Yeah, we
so
will
maybe
see.
you will see today, right? When
Yeah.
when
At
do they
5?
At 5 p.m. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for
Thank you.
Martin that he wins the award for what is it? Best independent.
Yeah.
That's a category. Okay. So
To be on the list for me it's okay, so it's cool. No,
that's
no,
all
because
that matters.
we know all the designer who is on the list. It's funny because it's a really small world. We are all we know. When I say we know each other, we know on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's cool.
So Twitter is a good platform
Yeah.
to stay
Yeah.
connected
And
in,
to meet
in
people,
design.
and if you want to talk with a creative director in a really cool agency somewhere in the world, you can make it with Twitter. And also with LinkedIn, but I think the best is Twitter.
Awesome. We also have some people wishing you congratulations here in the chat. So.
Thank you.
And we have a question from Giovanna. How often do your clients require a WordPress site? Good old WordPress. Funny.
We work a lot on WordPress,
Yeah?
a lot, because our Leo and Kevin are really used to WordPress, and I think it's simple for our clients. Sometimes it's a bit big because every page is a bit slow, but when you work with a good developer, they can manage to have a super fast website. But I really like WordPress, and I'm start working on Shopify. On the past, we work a lot with other platform for e-commerce, and now we work with Shopify. And Shopify and WordPress, I think, is really you can be
Okay.
really creative.
And it's also, I mean,
No.
yeah, we have a lot of
It's my
fans
fan.
coming here.
Yeah,
It's
friend
just,
from Aspil.
from where?
Aspil is a Dutch company.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you work together, or?
Yeah, we are in the same office, and they make some good Shopify websites. So if you need a Shopify website, you can call Aspil.
Okay.
And they
do
pay
that.
me for this. You have to pay me now.
We're live. That's great. Do you have any project that you would say you would have never handed in to awards? Like one way where you thought it's great, but then you thought, oh, it's not suitable to hand in to the awards.
Yeah, but I
again.
don't want to show you that kind of projects.
Why?
No.
It's always good to know for our community, you know, because I always find it's so difficult when you are beginning, when you're at the start of your design career. It's so difficult to differentiate what's good and what's not. I think you have to try out so many things to narrow it down. So it's always good when you see a good and a bad example, not in the sense of bad, but
No, because
or better. That's the wrong word, but
I know, I
maybe
understand.
something less
Yeah.
suitable, you know.
Because I think there is not like good clients or bad clients who try to win an award. You can win an award with like really simple product or like really small clients. But for me, at the beginning when I start working on the project, at the beginning I'm sure I can do like a really cool project. And when at the end I'm not like so proud of the project, it's because during the creative part something goes wrong with the clients. We don't understand each other, or finally the picture is not so cool, and they don't like my interaction, or they want like something like too simple for me, and so that's why I don't want to show that kind
Okay,
of.
but how
because
do you
sometimes,
handle it?
yeah, for
What do you
I
do
think
when this happens? When you meet your client? And
first I cry, after no, I'm kidding.
sad.
No, but it's terrible.
Some
No, it's
tissues here in case your emotions come up again.
no. Sometimes
All
honestly
prepared.
it's a bit hard. It's a bit hard.
Yeah.
It's part of
Do
the
you
job.
start all over, or do you just stop the project?
No.
The project. You
No,
start all over.
Yeah, I never stop the project. No, no.
You never stop, so you always pull through all the way.
Yeah, because
That's a good thing to do,
But
isn't it? I mean,
for
it's good to
example,
encourage people to
for-
pull through, even
Yeah,
though they
yeah.
might fail at some
Yeah.
point in their time. Doesn't mean that you can't finish something,
Mhm.
even though you failed at some point. But better is to fail early and
Yeah,
learn from it,
yeah.
and then continue. Yeah.
For example, for drôledemonsieur.com, the e-commerce I showed you previously, like 1 week before we launched the e-commerce, the guy called me and said, "Okay, Martin, we are going to remove all the animation on the website." And I was like, "What? But what's happening?" Oh yeah,
All
we are
my work in After
Yeah.
Effects, you
Yeah.
want to remove.
no, and I was like, "What's happening? We are not sure. We want something more simple." Blah blah blah. It was, and we have a
And
talk.
you spend all these
Yeah,
hours in
and
After Effects.
now,
to
and
the-
I have a talk with the client, so I think it's okay, and I explain why I think it's good, etc. And finally, we launched the website, and the conversion was really good.
Yeah.
They raised a lot of money, so and we win a prize, and so it's good for the brands also. And this year, the e-commerce are nominated to e-commerce of the year, so it's really good for the brand. So at the end, we are happy, but sometimes they need to be. It's normal. You can when you put a lot of money on the website and or all your money on the product, you want to be sure
course.
it's going to. So sometimes they say, okay, we are going to do something simple because it's.
Of course.
We are a friend.
Do you also get feedback once the website is live, like through
Yeah.
Google Analytics or stuff, how many clicks they get or how much more sales they have thanks to your design?
Yeah, we ask for the sales
And
because it's
can you
important.
tell us more about that?
No, but for me it's important because I'm not an artist. I'm not an artist. I'm not a painter. I'm just working for the industry. I'm trying to just design product to sell more product. That's the reality. People pay me for this. Look, if I can do a beautiful website, but it's at the end there is no conversion. So I don't do the right job. I don't do the job well.
Yeah.
So that's why we ask a lot. If the sale is good, if a lot of conversion, a lot of subscription to the newsletter, stuff like this, to be.
And how much does it usually increase once your site goes live?
No, I don't have. I
You
don't
don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just know.
Is it loads?
I call my client. Are you happy? They told me yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay, thanks. Don't have time
no, just to
to
know.
cycle.
Yeah.
How is it? How would you say design aesthetics are different here in Amsterdam or in the Netherlands compared to where you're from in France?
Sorry, because there is. The
What's the biggest difference in design aesthetics between the two countries? Is it the first time you live abroad?
Yeah.
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 So what's the biggest difference and challenge for you?
There is some really cool agencies here based in Amsterdam. So
And in France, not?
yeah, also there's a lot, but I don't know why in France agencies work mostly for the French market. They don't work for the international. And here in Amsterdam, there are a lot of US companies come here because they don't pay taxes.
Okay.
I think no, and so they are.
Everybody come to Amsterdam.
Yeah, no, there's Nike, Reebok, Adidas. They are here. There are a lot. There are Facebook, Google. They are all here in Amsterdam.
So it's a chance to work more
Yeah, and
internationally for you.
And there's a lot of really good agencies. So for me, it's a change because now I can try to work with some good agency and in different projects, not only fashion for French brands.
But in terms of design aesthetics, would you say it's the same?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Because in the agency,
So it's
there are
just the client world is a different one.
in the agencies, there's not only Dutch people. There are people from France, from
Of course.
US, from China.
From all over the place. Yeah.
It's all the same. And it's the same in France. It's a mix. So it's cool.
All right. We have one more question in the chat from Angelique. Do you have a project with a short deadline, and how do you manage the stress that can come with it? Any tips on managing short deadlines? How long are your projects in average?
Between 1 and 3 months. But
Okay.
sometimes, for example, I think it's not the best one, but it was made in 5 days. It's I work for Salomon. It's a French brand, and for an agency, and the deadline was really short. And
That's a website?
yeah, it's just a one page, and they want to show a new product, and so
To do sports shoes.
yeah,
Yeah.
technical, really
Okay.
technical issues. And yeah, I'm not really proud of this project, but
Why not?
because I don't like it anymore, but it's okay. No, I
But
think
why not? What would you do different now? What would you tell your younger self?
because when you have the really short deadline, you have to find an idea and say, okay, this is the idea, we are going to be doing this. At the end, perhaps with more time, we will do something different, more, I don't know, about animations. I think more animation, more based on because I get the picture of the product like at the end. So
Oh, okay.
I think perhaps we will do something different.
It makes it so difficult when you get the materials at the end, right? Doesn't matter if it's
Yeah.
data, if
Yeah.
it's pictures, it just
Yeah.
changes your
Yeah,
whole
but
vision that
they
you have.
send me some picture like it looks like this, like prototype, but
Yeah.
it's hard to know exactly I remember I just sent a picture of my shoes, and I was like, okay, I need a picture like this, so like with my old shoes, and they sent me back a picture like this one.
So you took your own basically, just as a placeholder.
Yeah, it was
That's funny. Do you do the same with other things? Do you go to your bathroom and take a picture of
No.
an oil? And
No.
no. Okay, that's a good trick. Do we have any more questions in the chat? No, just the one from Angelique. Any tips on how to manage your deadlines? Yeah, work during the night.
No. No, honestly, I don't work anymore at night. A bit.
But you did.
Yeah, a lot. But now I have 2 children, so.
So
now-
they keep you up at
Yeah,
night.
but I think it's the good question because it's really hard in this industry to manage and to find the perfect balance between the work and between the family time.
Yeah.
And when as a freelancer, you have to work a lot and sometimes there is no limit. And some of freelancers are work all the time. And I think it's not really good because the clients must know that you have also a life and you are like you want to make sport or doing whatever during the weekend and you don't have to work on the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people send you like elements on Friday night and say, okay, we need it for Monday morning. At the beginning, when you are a young designer, you work
You
during
just do it.
yeah.
And
No-
now you push back and say,
Yeah,
I
we are
have a
good.
life.
We will see on Tuesday.
But that's a good thing to do
Yeah.
and also a good position to be in,
Yeah.
right? That you got to the stage where you
Because
can
they ask for-
afford to.
Yeah.
I mean, they're dependent on you at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
So it's not really, if you say, I can't deliver by Monday, it's not that they can find someone else by
Yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, because
so chances
because
are.
it's always the same. They call you last time and say, okay, the deadline is in 1 month, and you have to
Yeah.
work a lot. And say, okay, no, keep it cool. We
Alright.
need time because it's really for the development part, for the technical part. It's really important to have time if you want to do a great job. So
Definitely.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have iterations, you also have to push back
Yeah.
and maybe sometimes the deadline moves. So,
Yeah.
so tip for Angelique, just push back. if you want to sleep,
Yeah.
sleep.
yeah.
Sleeping is important. We have one more question in the chat from Irfan. How do you manage time for spent on design 24/7? I don't know what you mean exactly by that.
How many hours I work a day? No.
I don't understand
know.
that. Maybe you can reformulate that. Demas is asking how to get a job at a well-known company. Any tips?
Yeah, but for me it was to make an internship. It was really important. I started at Buzzman with an advertising agency in Paris, and it was a really good one. And I started as an intern, and I met a lot of people there. And so, because I came from my own town is Lyon in the south, so when I arrived in Paris, I know nobody in the business. So it's really important. I think internship is a really, really, really good thing. And as I told you before, you can check on Twitter and try to meet people from a good agency. And come also in that kind of events, I don't know, where there are a lot of people from really good agencies. It's cool to just have a drink.
Awesome. So
yeah.
most important thing is to network. So go
Yeah.
on Twitter, go on Behance, try to
Yeah.
get internship at renowned
Yeah.
companies
Yeah.
and get your connections going.
Yeah, and make personal. If you have, when I was young, I'm not old, but when I start, I work a lot on personal projects. At the one I showed you before for the hip hop culture, and it's really important to show. It's the first thing when I receive a book. It's the first thing I look. All the projects are not perfect, but it's okay. Say,
course.
what are you doing when you have free time?
That's
You have
great.
a passion, you make a blog, you make something, just show me things, and it's cool.
Our time is over now, so
Cool.
thank you very much, Martin, for hanging out with me here for breakfast for 1 hour.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed for your award. And
Thank you very much.
coming up next is Rufus, so
Yeah.
stay tuned and
Yeah.
with a surprise guest.
See you, thank you very much.
See you.
Bye bye.
Bye.